back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm canning again, and I feel like I'm canning for free. Okay, so I bought those chicken breasts on sale for 99 cents a pound, and they were bone and skin on. I boned them, I saved all the bones, and I made this beautiful stock that I'm now gonna strain off. It's been sitting in the fridge so I could skim off the fat, or most of it. I don't mind if there's a little bit. Even when you open up a jar or a can, you usually have a little bit of fat on top. That fat is flavor. So I feel like I got this broth pretty much for free. I used some odds and ends in the refrigerator, a carrot, some celery, some onion, and we have a beautiful stock. And yeah, and I actually, okay, so I've got my ladle that's got the holes in it, so I can add something like a spider kind of thing, so I can get out the most part. I've got my trash right here. I'm gonna get most of that done. We'll strain it off into this bowl, then I will take it back over, heat it up, and we'll get it in jars and get it in the canner. It's gonna can for 20 minutes, 1 pint jars. And literally, it's a bonus. I didn't waste anything, and I got chicken on sale for 99 cents a pound. The broth is coming from that whole thing. I just feel like it's a win-win. And I'm doing it with Tattler Lids today, only because a lot of you are asking, can you can meats with Tattlers? Can you can broth? I heard you couldn't do broth with Tattlers. Of course you can. You can can anything with Tattlers that you can with a button top lid. So I'm going to show you how I do it right now. And you do have to preheat them, so I will have hot water that they'll soak in. And that's the only thing additional that you do that you don't have to do with a button top lid, even though sometimes I still do. All right, come on in. I'll show you how I strain this off and how I don't get to where, if it has a little bit of sediment in the bottom, it doesn't bother me. I would use that regardless of whether I was canning it or not. So come on in, let's see what we do. Okay, so literally I'm just getting this out of the broth. The solids are going right down in. That chicken is spent. I did save some of it out. A friend came over and brought their dog, and I did give him a little bit of that chicken. But okay, so we are straining, get the majority of these solids out. And I do it right over the trash. That way I don't have to worry about having another bowl for that to go in. They can just go right there. And I'm hoping I get 7 pints. If I do, I mean, this broth tastes wonderful. It's light, but it's beautiful for rice, to have in a rice dish. And there we go. I think I got most of it. And we'll get the rest into the strainer. And get your bay leaves. Don't forget to get those bay leaves out. I don't think bay leaves cans would be very good, but I don't know. I've never done it. So, we're going to go ahead and strain the rest of this. I'll wash my pan and get that all cleaned up and then put it back in to heat the broth. And it's pretty, it's got a little bit of a gelatinous consistency to it, which is good. That's what you want. That's from the bones and the collagen. And I did add in the, just so you know, I know a lot of you are going to go, you didn't show us how to make the broth. But I did add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with the mother, and salt, pepper, garlic, onion, carrots. I mean, it's really just what's in your pantry or in your fridge that you need to get rid of. So that's how I did it. I'm going to get the rest of that in there. How easy is this? You just strain it. Well, hopefully you can see. Sorry for my elbow. And there you go. Okay. We still have quite a bit of chicken down in there. We'll get rid of that. And I'm just going to move this around until I get that broth. Oh, it looks so good. So good. Get all that goodness out, and then we'll be ready to heat that back up. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so this is how easy this is. I'm going to try to keep this out of your way. My jars are room temperature. They've been run through the dishwasher like usual. I've got my hot lids right there. I got my hot broth. My canner is 180 right now. It's at 180 waiting for jars. And so you want hot jars, hot liquid, or temper your jars with the liquid. They're at room temperature. They're going to be fine. So you wouldn't put cold jars and cold liquid into a hot canner. You could get a jar break from thermal shock. So 1 inch of headspace, super easy. We do not have to debubble. These debubble themselves. And yeah, that's how easy it is. Okay, I am going to wipe the rim just in case. There you go. And we're going to get a lid out. And these are the old style Tattlers, so you're going to just get it centered on there. Oh, and each one, just so you know, whew, hot, 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 hot. I don't know if you can see it. There's a mark right there. This is the first time they've been used. So mark 1. And next time I use this lid, after it's been washed, I will mark it a second time, because the gaskets are good for about 10 canning sessions. So you're going to, ooh, that's hot. So you're going to tighten it and then back off 1/4 of an inch. And where's my jar lifter? Okay. And there you go. You have beautiful, gorgeous chicken broth going in the canner. I could add some parsley flakes to that. It would be very pretty. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it plain. It'll be great to add to soups, stews, rice. I mainly did it, you know, instead of quarts, I did it because I don't always use a quart of stock anymore. If I'm not making a pot of soup, I don't need a whole quart. So if I'm just making, you know, a thing of rice or a small batch of soup, for me, all I need is a pint. So again, wipe the rim, get yourself a lid, and all of these are new Tattlers. I keep my Tattlers in use all over my pantry. Back it off a little bit. And you have to back it off so it can vent. Otherwise you can blow the lid off. Or you can buckle your lid completely. But Tattlers typically, if you don't back them off, they will just blow the ring and everything off. All right, and in the canner, it goes. And let's see, what else can I chat about while I'm doing this for you? I just feel like this was such a win-win, even though it was a little bit of, you know, I had to bone that chicken breast, but that literally might have added 15 minutes to my time of cutting up the chicken in total. So, and I get all this chicken broth as a bonus. Ta-da! 7 pints. And in the canner she goes. All right. All right, guys. This is going to go, we're going to start the canner. As soon as I get the lid on, I will let it come up kind of slowly. I'm not going to rush this into, you know, screaming boil right away. Oh, I may not get 7 pints. That's okay, though. If I don't, I don't. I'll take what I can get. So, oh yeah. Yeah, I might only get 5. And that's okay. Maybe 6. Okay. What was I going to say? I'll bring my canner up slowly. I will let it vent for 10 minutes. Once it's completed its venting, then I'll put the 10-pound weight on, and that's for my altitude, like I always say. And that will, then it will can for 20 minutes at full pressure once it starts dancing. And then I'll turn it off, let it come down off of pressure naturally. And yum, we're gonna have some beautiful broth on the shelf. And I don't know what I'm gonna do to fill the canner, because 20 minutes is not a time I would stick anything with protein in. And I don't believe I have any additional broth sitting around because I don't have a big enough refrigerator to store it. Because I'm still without a refrigerator, and I will be for a minute. I don't mind if I'm just shy 1 jar in my canner. This 10.1 quart All-American, which I will leave a link down in the description box. I've got Amazon links for everything. I will leave a link down there for you. And I need a little bit more here. There we go. And yeah, you can do 6 jars and it's fine. Tight, back off, and the canner she goes, and to wait for the rest. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just do maybe a jar of water, and being that I'm not using Tattler, or I'm not using button top lids, I will not be wasting a lid. Oh yeah, 6 pints, perfect. And there you go. Should we have some sterile water on the shelf? This is how I would test your Tattlers. If you've never used Tattler lids, I would can broth, you know, or stock. And I use that, I put that mark to face down onto the top of the jar. And it goes through the dishwasher, everything. Tighten, back off, and we'll do some hot water in that. But if you were learning how to use the old school Tattlers, they do make an easy seal that you don't have to back off and tighten them down after the canning process. But I'm so used to these, I'm gonna just go ahead with the whole process. So I'm gonna can some water in here, and I'll have some sterile water for whatever I might need, and that will again prove that you can do liquids. All right, we'll be back when I'm bringing them out of the can. Okay, so I did want to kind of point out, I've got the 6 pints plus the 1 pint of water in the canner. I've locked the thumb screws down opposites of each other and then tightened them all down hard. And we're gonna wait till it's venting steam out of the petcock, a steady stream of steam. Vent it for 10 minutes. That's part of your timing process, so don't skip that, no matter what you're canning. I know people think you can skip that process. You can't. It's included in the time. Whatever's in the jar has to get to a certain temperature for a certain length of time for it to be safe. Okay, and then once this comes up to pressure, after I put my weight on, it's going to come up to 11 or 12 on the dial. And then the weight will start rocking and giving me a little dance. And then I'll start timing, and I'll time it for 20 minutes. So we'll be back to take them out. Okay, guys, my broth is done. My water's done. Everything's done. Here you go, water, sterile water. Okay, and when you take a Tattler lid out of the canner, you need to tighten the lid down because, oh, look, it's still boiling in there. Can you see that? So you want to tighten that lid down. If you ever hear it hissing, and I say this all the time, but I really want to send that message home. If you ever hear it hissing, don't tighten that lid. Just leave it alone. Leave it in the canner, actually. So if there's anything, yeah, not good, not right, we're going to grab this and tighten that down all the way. Beautiful, though. Look at this beautiful chicken stock. Yes. And in my opinion, that was free. That was a free bounty from the Bones, and yeah. So I'm super happy to have this on my shelf. I really am. I love having homemade chicken stock whenever I can, and literally you go through it so fast. I can go through 6 or 7 quarts as fast as I can these pints, because I don't always need, you know, I'll open it and then I end up drinking the rest for bone broth, or not, you know, not really using it in a particular recipe. This will give me specifics. I've got 2 cups of chicken stock with Tattler Tattler lids that are totally reusable, which is great right now because lids are hard to come by. I still can't get lids and rings. I can't get lids or lids and rings unless I buy a full flat of jars here locally, which I don't need jars. And I don't need rings necessarily, but I would buy them because rings do oxidize. These are some older Kerr rings. The metal on them is pretty thick, so they'll take a while to oxidize. But all right, so I've got my 6 jars of beautiful chicken stock. Still boiling. Look at how pretty that is. It's like liquid gold. And it's ready to go on the shelf. So I hope that it inspires you to try your hand at home canning. You know, I've got this pot of soup I'm taking to my daughter's. And I got some canning done. And now we can, oh, hot. We can put this on the shelf tomorrow. Actually, I will check all these lids here in a couple of hours. I always check my Tattlers or my button top lids a couple hours after they've cooled down enough for you to handle the jars a little bit. I'll take those rings off. And if they're not sealed, they're going to be telling you right then. Especially if I have meat or meat products, protein products, anything. Actually, you want to be able to refrigerate it if it's not sealed and or, you know, take note. So, all right. As always, guys, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. Hopefully using some of this home canned chicken broth and, and some of that canned chicken that I got for 99 cents a pound. All right, we'll see you next time. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you'd like to be in on, twice a month I do a live chat and I do giveaways and extra content and everything over. If you want to become a member of Linda's Pantry, you'll be a Pantry peep. All right, guys. It doesn't change the content over here, but it does change. It's just additional for those of you that want to hang out with me. All right. We'll see you soon. Bye.